Oh, welcome to Jacki's Whole Food Plant-Based Journey. Back in the kitchen, and I'm doing a lot all at once, including laundry. I almost forgot that my laundry was already taken out of the dryer as I'm trying to cook quinoa and hummus and chickpea cookies. So for the very second time, that doesn't make sense. I use the Instant Pot for the same thing I used once before. I made quinoa in the Instant Pot and it was delicious. There's a whole video of it if you haven't seen it. That's the first time I used the Instant Pot and the last time until today, because I took my friend Debbie's advice and I tried to make quinoa on the stovetop a couple weeks ago and I screwed that up. So I'm back to the Instant Pot because it was so good the first time. But do I remember what I was doing? I have a recipe. So I read the recipe and it said, the red quinoa and 1.5 cups of water. So I put in the water first, then I put in the quinoa, and then I read the recipe and it said rinse and drain the quinoa. So I had to empty everything into, which was fine because it was just water and quinoa. So I just put it all into my this thing. What's it called? Oh, it's wet. I don't dry things. This thing, fine mesh strainer, something like that. So I rinsed that, but when I was pouring the quinoa into the cups, it was splattering everywhere. Now I got to clean up my counter. The Instant Pot's over there, so you don't see it. It's on the other side of the refrigerator. Last time I moved it up here, but I got too lazy today because now I'm doing other things up here. I'm doing chickpeas and hummus and all that stuff. So, all right. So then I put everything in an Instant Pot. I had trouble getting the lid on, but it was okay. We got it on. Everything seems to be working. So that's good. All right. Got to clean up all that quinoa though. And next, I'm going to make hummus. I made a hummus several times, but I still need to look up the recipe. And I know it's only like 2 ingredients. I got the chickpeas down, but I think there's something else, like maybe tahini, maybe lemon juice, something like that. And then I added all these wonderful seasonings and it makes it taste really good, like garlic and basil. What do? I just use regular seasonings, onion, garlic. What's the one I like? Dillweed. So I'm going to pause the recording. We'll let the quinoa cook. I'm going to make some hummus. I'm going to make some chickpea cookies that my new whole food plant-based friend, Kathy, who took one of my Zentangle classes recently, told me we all brought our lunch and she brought these delicious cookies made from chickpea. So I'm going to make those today because they were really good. She was so nice to give me one of her 3 cookies. So we'll make those and see what happens. So stay tuned. I'm going to pause. Well, I forgot to set the timer for 10 minutes when I was supposed to release the thing. What's it called? Well, you got to release the air out of the Instant Pot. And it was supposed to cook for 14 minutes. But after 10 minutes, I was supposed to release the air. And I guess I got too busy making my hummus. And the beeper went off for 14 minutes. So if you heard the noise in the background, I don't know if you heard it, but I just released the pressure. That's what it is. So I made some hummus. And so this is great. And I love these little jars that I got from Pampered Chef. It has a little lid to go with it. Nice little lid. And this will be for anything. Put it on some rice cakes. Put it on some Dave's Killer Bread for a sandwich. Put some. So what I did with this the other day, I made a sandwich. I put some spinach and kale leaves on it, and also some pine nuts. Oh, I'm joking now because I probably put too much seasoning in this, like basil or something. It's making me gag. All right, so that's the hummus. We'll see what happens with the quinoa. I don't know when I'm supposed to open that. I'll have to look to see. Probably has to cool off. I got to get used to this Instant Pot thing. And I've got my chickpeas already drained for the cookies, which is going to have peanut butter, maple syrup, vanilla, and cinnamon. Excuse me. And it's a no bake, no oil, no flour, no refined sugar, nothing. all healthy. And so when I get that going, I'll resume the recording. Well, I did it again, a little screw up. You got to read the whole recipe in full, more than once, right? So I'm thinking, okay, get all the ingredients together. And I'm like, okay, do I have to skip or head? I like to find shortcuts. And I went straight to, okay, place chickpeas and everything, oat flour into the food processor. I said, great, I could just put the chickpeas in as I go down the list of what's the next ingredient, even though I put everything out, but I haven't measured them yet. So I put the chickpeas in the food processor, and then it says a third a cup of oat flour. And I forgot I have to make the oat flour in the food processor first. So now I have to empty out the chickpeas into a bowl. And it's funny because I was thinking, at least I remember to put this blade back in. A lot of times I forget to put the blade back in. I put everything in and I get empty everything out. All right, so that's my first mistake for this particular recipe today. And this is why I do videotaping Jacki's journey, whole food plant. Really, it's really Jacki's new cooking experience journey, because I never cooked before. And this is why it's kind of comical to kind of figure out things. But I have made a lot of progress. If you watch my first video, especially with the food process, the first time I used the food processor, oh my gosh. And I can't tell you how, the first time I used the food processor, if you didn't see the video, it was, it's like I could use it and then I couldn't use it and then I returned it because I thought it was broken, but it was me. It wasn't broken. I got a new one back in and I started using it and learning a little bit more of how to use it. And I've been using it like constantly. So it's like nothing for me now. I'm a pro at the food process. Did I say word processor before? I don't know. We used to use that term before computers, or when computers first came out. Food processor. And now I'm going through the same thing with the Instant Pot's new. Like I'm kind of like trying to stay away from it, but not. And I need to get used to that. So pretty soon I'll be a pro at that, hopefully. All right, enough babbling. I'm going to pause the recording and fix this whole chickpea cookie recipe. Well, I don't know about you guys, but do you like tend to spill things like where you work in your kitchen? Are there's always crumbs? Well, when I took out the chickpeas flew, well, one chickpea flew out onto the floor, and then it was a good thing because I forgot to rinse the top of my food processor after I made the hummus, and the hummus is kind of garlicky and salty, and that would not be good on the cookies. So kind of glad that all happened. So I'm gonna continue making my oat flour just out of oats, just putting oats in the food processor. For the oat flour, I believe, I'm not a pro, that quick oats might be better than old-fashioned oats to make flour, but you just put it in some flour and ground it up in the food processor and it makes flour. Did I say flour? Oats. Put the oats in. I don't know what I'm saying. It's very early in the morning. It's getting later though, and I better hurry up because I have an appointment with my financial advisor today. If you need a financial advisor, I've got the very best one. He is amazing, fabulous. I have waited years and years to find the perfect one. Now, he is my nephew, but he really is great. I wouldn't trust anyone else. And he's had promotions after promotions after promotions in his business. So if you're looking for someone really good or just want to have a consult, you let me know and I'll put you in touch with him. That's my commercial. I'll be back. I'm a little confused about something. I put all the ingredients in for the chickpea cookies, but then I notice it says a can of chickpeas drained and rinsed, because I didn't think you had to rinse chickpeas, because when you make hummus, it calls for the aquafaba that the chickpeas is in the can, the juice from the can. So I figured, and some recipes say just drained, doesn't say rinse. This one says drained and rinsed, but I didn't see that part because no matter how many times I read the recipes, I don't see everything. I have to keep reading them over and over or pay more attention when I read it the first time. So they're not rinsed. Everything's in there, all the maple syrup, And also, I chose to use sunflower butter instead of peanut butter because I had it in the house and it's been open sitting in my cupboard. And I hope it's okay. I asked Alexa if I say it softly so she doesn't say, oh, what do you want? So I asked her how long, but she didn't understand what I said. She says unopened for a year, but it's only been, I don't know, maybe a month or two. We'll see. All right, I'm going to mix up the ingredients and make the cookies and see what happens. I totally forgot about the quinoa again. And when I went over to the Instant Pot, it said 26 minutes. So I guess it's been off. So maybe it keeps timing after it gets off. I don't know if it's supposed to sit there for a little while, but I opened it up and it's pretty good. It's not wet like it was when it was on the stovetop. That's because I did it wrong on the stovetop. But yeah, it's pretty good. Quinoa for breakfast. Okay. All right. All right. So you want to see the cookie stuff? Remember, I made sunflower instead of peanut butter. So this will, yeah, you can see the dough like that. So it looks like cookie dough, actually. So I'm going to fold in some non-dairy vegan chocolate chips and then roll the balls, put them on parchment paper, refrigerate them. So I'm using, I'm finding it's pretty easy to find. You got to look, but I have a few different kinds of chips that are pretty good. These are organic bittersweet dark chocolate chips, but shouldn't have any sugar in it. So these are, so they didn't have the ones, no peanuts, no nuts, no egg, no soy, no gluten, no wheat, no dairy, that's the key. It says 100% plant-based, no emulsifiers, no genetically modified ingredients. What else? It does say organic chocolate liqueur, organic cane sugar, and organic cocoa butter. Usually I don't get the ones with any cane sugar or sugar, but they seem okay. And then I get these two. The ones I really, that are better, I think are called Evolve. But anyways, these are okay as well. Organic cacao, organic unrefined coconut sugar, organic cocoa butter. It says no refined sugar, no cane sugar, no sugar alcohols, no erythritol, no soy, no palm oil, no lecithin. The whole idea is, nothing processed, no oil, no dairy. All right, whatever. So I'm going to put that in a bowl, put some chocolate chips in it, and I'll show you once I roll them what they look like. I remember a few months ago, before I became whole food plant-based, my kitchen was always clean. I never had to wash any dishes or pots and pans. My stove got no use. And I had a whole lot more time to do other things. But there's the trade-off. I'm thinner than I was, or less fat, I should say. I'm healthier, and I want to continue on this route. So what's the trade-off? I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, whatnot. So here's my quinoa. I've gotten a lot. That was like 1 cup of quinoa. Look what it made. That's amazing. And da, 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 my beautiful cookies. They look like cookie dough. So if you like cookie dough, and they taste like it, I've already been eating it. So and it's very healthy. No refined sugar, no flour, no oil, no processed foods or minimally processed if there is anything. So it's all natural, plant-based. That goes in the refrigerator. Now, as you can see, I had trouble forming these uniformly. So I tried different ways. So some are round, some are just blobs. And I'm sure some of you would be able to. Look, this is a nice one. That's a nice round one. But then look at this. I mean, they were really hard to roll or scoop. And that's it. So I got to continue cleaning and done cooking for the day. Did my laundry. I mean, wow, what a productive morning. Thanks for watching. And hope you got a little chuckle out of my cooking in Jacki's Whole Food Plant-Based Journey kitchen. Bye-bye.